Tampa. The refreshing feeling of the Bay was all good as I caught up with the members of the Gamma Delta Omega chapter of Iota Phi Theta Fraternity Incorporated to talk about community, history, and the great things that this Divine Nine chapter is doing in the area. This is Grown and Greek TV in Tampa, Florida. Grown and Greek TV, and we are in Tampa, Florida. We came down and guess what we stumbled upon? Some brothers of Iota Phi Theta. You guys are doing some awesome things in Tampa, and so we definitely wanted to meet you and see what you guys are doing in this great city, this warm city in the sunshine.
Yeah.
We're standing outside of the Robert Saunders Library.
I'm Paul Verner. I'm the president of the Gamma Delta Omega chapter of Iota Phi Theta Fraternity Incorporated. I pledged Gamma Delta Omega chapter. I'm a grad chapter brother, and I'm originally from Washington, D.C., and I just retired from the Army a couple years ago, and I've been very involved in the Greek life since then.
My name's Kerrell Joseph. I am the community service chair here of Gamma Delta Omega of Iota Phi Theta Fraternity Incorporated. I pledged at University of South Florida's Zeta Delta chapter fall 2004, and I'm originally from Miami, and I've been in the Tampa area now 16 or 17 years.
Now you guys, PV, I heard that you came into GDO and you just immediately got going. You became president and all of that. How has that been, just, you know, taking the helm and the reins of the chapter and really just diving in? I heard you talk about you just love doing community service. So how has that translated into the impact and all that you guys are making in the community?
It's been awesome. It's been a seamless transition because I've been a Mason for over 30 years. Masonry have a tendency to do the same thing. That's the original fraternity. Mm-hmm. And being in the Army, we did a lot of volunteer service and a lot of community service work for each other and for other people in other countries. So it was when I came into retired colonel, a good friend of mine, he asked me would I be interested in joining the fraternity. I joined the fraternity. I got right in, and I like giving back to the community because we have so much, and some people have so little, and just want to give those some of the comforts and let them know that we as black men and we as a community care about their well-being. And so we just always try to give back. And the thing that we concentrate on in Gamma Delta Omega is we have a tutoring program where we tutor disadvantaged African American kids who are struggling in school every Tuesday and Thursday at the Church in Progress Village.
Wow, that's pretty cool. I've seen, pictures and activity and stuff on your social media about the things, particularly that's one of your national initiatives, right? Or is it a chapter initiative that you guys do?
That was a chapter initiative. I've been working with Progress Village for about 5 years. Even before I joined the fraternity, I got the fraternity involved because I used to, every year I asked the young men, we have about anywhere from 25 to 50 people in the program. And every year when we have a class, and I always get the older class because they're the older young men, and they always say, yeah, because they want, me to control them.
Right.
But the thing that I always ask, and Kerrell was there one night when I asked, we had 11 people on hand, and I asked them, what did they want to do when they grew up? Would you believe 9 out of 11 said they want to be either entertainer or athlete?
Oh, wow.
And that's why I wanted to bring in brothers, successful college-educated black men, to let them know that you don't have to be an athlete or an entertainer to be successful in life.
And that's not the definition of success anyway.
Exactly.
Right.
You're right.
Well, that is something to definitely be applauded, and I totally agree with you. You know, it's important for the youth to see you guys, black men, doing great things. And so, you know, just for me to, and all of the other Divine Nine members, thank you for, you know, your service, and just keep going and keep doing your thing. Kerrell, you have been a member of the fraternity for 14 years. I saw the math. I saw the math. You did it quicker than me. But how has your experience been? Just, you know, being an undergrad, then transferring into the graduate chapter, and, you know, just continuing the efforts to be an Iota man.
I would say the experience, I wouldn't trade it for the world. It was definitely one of the best decisions I made in my lifetime. I've literally met brothers, mentors that I plan to take with me for the rest of my life. It's given me an environment where, one, especially as an undergrad, I didn't feel like the growth that was needed. It wasn't a growth that was forced upon me, but it was a growth in the right direction. So it's like when you're around older gentlemen in college, especially, and they're about their academics and getting good grades and doing good philanthropic efforts. Like one thing we started at Zeta Delta or USF was Project Shop. And so with Project Shop was a initiative where they would go out to the Grant Park community, which is also like an underserved community, and they would take kids Christmas shopping. So they would ask other orgs as well as individuals to sponsor a kid for $50. And so that effort that started with the guys before me, it's carried on to this day. And now last year, I think they got like $6,000 worth of donations and were able to take so many kids as well as give a scholarship to the community center itself at Grant Park. So seeing that and the evolution, and, you know, sometimes, you know, in the Divine Nine scale, you guys don't see a lot of Iotas. So for me, I always take it as, if I meet somebody, I might be the first Iota they met. So let me put my best face forward. Right. And on the alumni level, it's been a great experience, because now I've grown into another chapter where now, instead of that undergrad feeling, now you have people that have become professionals. You have retired military, you have doctors, lawyers, you have these people that have had success in life, black doctors, black lawyers, that the kids that we go and tutor, they don't see that, and all they see is football, basketball, or rappers. And it's to surround yourself with brothers that are doing that. And how did you do that? Or you and your wife have a healthy marriage, and you guys are 30 years in, you guys are homeowners, you guys have kids that are graduated college. Eventually I want to be in that area, and so to be in that environment around brothers that have accomplished those things, then it gives me, you know what I'm saying, it gives me hope that, you know what, I can be there too. So the alumni experience is a different one. Right. You know, it's a little more pricier, but it's definitely been well worth it.
Now, as far as, you know, just things around Tampa, what other things besides the Progress Village do you guys involve yourselves in? And particularly, you know, coming to Tampa and people want to look up the Iotas, where can they find you guys?
They can find us at TampaIotas.org. We had something called Paint Your Heart Out. Yeah. Tampa Bay, the city provides the material. They pick a couple homes that are distressed, and we had 10 brothers go out and along with another organization, and we went and cleaned the lady's yard, painted her house, revarnished her doors, redid her driveway, and took some old brushing things away and old stuff that was in the yard. When she, let's put it like this, when she went out there and saw the final result, she was very impressed and she was very happy. So we do things like that.
Blessed to bless. where we go to the Salvation Army. We feed the homeless. One of my chapter brothers from Zeta Delta, Roger Lawson, he started Bless to Bless as a nonprofit to help give back to the community. And so he'll literally just take donations that he get, and he'll open up the doors of Salvation Army and feed dinner. And so we go and prepare the food, serve the homeless. If we still have food left over, pack it up, go out to the community, pass out dinners, and we've been involved in Bless to Bless for the last couple years. Other things that we do as well, we try to do a Feeding America event every year. So we go out to the Feeding America and package foods for the disadvantaged families that need meals. We do Feeding America. So there's a lot of little things that we do each year. Also, our fraternity nationwide is partnered up with St. Jude's. So we raise funds for St. Jude's and also participate in the walk, which is usually at the end of September.
Now, we just missed your regional conference, right, in Tampa. Man, I hate that. How was that, man, just seeing so many brothers of Iota Phi Theta in one place? And how was it? Like, how was that experience?
It was a great experience, and I'll defer to PV after I guess I give my statement. But I guess for me, it was our first time hosting regionals. So, wow. Being a member now going on 14 years, we haven't had regionals here. We're a part of Gulf Coast region, so that's us. That's Florida, Georgia, Alabama, South Carolina, and Mississippi. So we haven't hosted regionals. So to be able to host regionals, to host our International Grand Polaris, Vice Polaris, the International Grand Council, to host them in Tampa. And, we had the undergrads at Zeta Delta had a probate, and we had our workshops and our business meetings and a barbecue, and just to be able to fellowship with so many brothers and kind of give them a little taste of Tampa, it was a great experience. I don't know if campus ever seen that many Iotas on campus at the probate, so it was definitely a great experience.
It was definitely great for me. That was the most Iotas I've ever seen collectively. It was a great event. The probate was. I don't dance, but it made me want to go dance.
Right.
It made me want to go out there and do the steps and do the strolls and things of that nature, because I'm more business minded. Mm-hmm. But this the whole idea of all the younger and the older brothers coming together as one. It was just a great event, and I really enjoyed it. I really did. One other thing that we're concentrating on this year, especially this year, is our founders, when they founded the fraternity back in '63 during the civil rights struggle, mm-hmm. It was a lot about voter registration. So we have a voter registration drive. We have 2 voter registration.
Okay. It's more imperative than ever to,
yes.
Just exercise your rights.
Right. So
again, I want to applaud you guys for the efforts that you're doing. Now, I'm always looking around, and it's particularly with the Divine Nine, we have so much strength, so much, brilliance, so many success stories, and so much to be proud of. What makes you most proud to be a member of your fraternity?
I would say, I guess on a more local level, just seeing the people that I've come in contact with just succeed in life. And a lot of times, as undergrads, you get caught up in the partying and the stepping and whatnot, and to see us evolve as professional men. Mm-hmm. My line brother Glenn Gilzine, he's the CEO of the Urban League over in Orlando.
Oh, wow.
My number 4, Treadell, he's actually in the Coast Guard, like officer in the Coast Guard. And so seeing the brothers from my chapter just evolve into men and continue to grow, continue to represent the organization in a positive light, I think when you can take that next level and you continue to shine a light and then come back to the chapter, come back to the undergrads and show them, look, if you focus on your schoolwork, if you really are diligent as a college student, it can take you somewhere in life. And so don't just get caught in the partying and stepping in the flashiness of Greek life, but also if you have people, if you have mentors, if you have people in these different areas within the chapter, within the alumni network of the organization, definitely take advantage of that, because you never know who you're going to need. And we as people of color, we have to do better of using those networks and making ourselves available as resources to the younger generation.
I personally love being an Iota. I mean, I like being the underdog. I've been the underdog my whole life. So we are. This is our 55th year in existence. This year. Yeah, we don't have a centennial. We haven't been around 100 years, but it's not how long you been around. It's what you're doing now. And we have our slogan: building a tradition, not resting upon one. So in other words, we're building our own tradition here in Tampa, and we're not resting on what people have done in the past. We're doing it now in the future. And like I always tell them, we the few and the proud, the Iotas.
That's right. That's right. Well, I mean, I'm kind of like in awe. I really am. Just, before we actually sat down for the interview, just getting a chance to talk to you guys. And what I'm pulling from our conversation and even here is like, you guys are really active. You guys do a whole lot. And that's what it's all about, and you do, from undergrad, a lot of times, and I'm speaking of myself, sometimes you don't immediately go into your continued work.
Right.
And it's okay, because when you do decide to do it, one thing you vow to do is do it for the rest of your life. So, I just applaud where you guys are, what you're doing. I appreciate you taking the time to, talk to Grown and Greek, and just continue to do it. And I want everybody to be, a part of the organization now, because you guys are doing some awesome stuff. So thank you so much.
Can I say one more thing?
Yeah.
The thing that makes me proud more than anything in the organization is when a parent write a letter to you personally thanking you for their child who was a DC student, or maybe a child who was failing, and they write a letter to you saying, hey, my child has came up 2 grade levels since you all been tutoring them. My child went from a D to a B in mathematics. My child, those are the things to me that inspire me to make me want to go back out there, because when those kids see us, and that's a rough job now. I can understand what teachers are going through. It's a rough job, but you got to go in there, and when you be firm, and they know you love them, and you're there because you love them and not for what you're trying to gain, they'll give back. And more of us need to give back to our youth, because if we don't, the black man's gonna become extinct.
Now, PV, what do you teach? What areas do you focus on? And where do you give your iron fist?
I focus mainly on the mathematics parts, algebra, and those things. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, you smart man. So that 14 that Kerrell came up with, you instantly knew how many years that didn't take you that long at all. It would have taken me to next week. I don't do math. but no, that's what about you when you tutor? What areas do you?
I try to do as much math as I can, but then I probably defer to PV. But if it's history or grammar or stuff like that, I usually stay in those lanes. I'll try to touch the math as much as I know. Maybe I need to brush up on the fractions a little bit, but I kind of get in where I fit in and wherever they need help, because like PV said, we're usually with the older kids, so kind of just almost got to crowd control and just get them to sit down and focus. A lot of times they know the content, but it's just getting them to sit down and actually do their homework, as opposed to talk or gossip or try to pick a fight with somebody else. So it's just more or less, all right, you guys are here for an hour, let's get your homework done, so you've had a productive hour before your parents come pick you up. So
now, TampaIotas.org.
You can also find us on Instagram, Tampa_Iotas.
That's how we found you.
Yes.
So you're there, definitely.
Yeah, check us out on IG. We is definitely live on IG. TampaIotas.org. Check out the chapter blog. That's where you get the most up-to-date information. Our vice president, who also runs the website, he's always updating with any events we got going on, community service events, projects, family events. One of our brothers just celebrated having a baby, so that'll probably be up on the blog. So just anything, if you want to know what the Tampa Iotas, what Gamma Delta Omega Iotas are doing, TampaIotas.org is where you can get your information.
Off camera, Kerrell, you talking about just how big the Divine Nine as a collective is here in Tampa. Like, how is, how exciting is it, and how active are you guys, individually, I guess, and then collectively in the area, and why is it so exciting?
Tampa MPHC is very vibrant in the area. I want to say there's 13 chapters here locally. So you have us, you have two Delta alumni chapters, you have an AK chapter, Alpha chapter, Kappas, Sigmas. There's 3 Zeta grad chapters.
Oh, wow.
Sigma Gamma Rho chapter, and 2 chapters of Omega Psi Phi. So literally throughout the year, there's many things going on. The MPAC makes a great effort to do mixers and events to get us collaborating and getting us coming out together to meet and greet with each other. There's always something to do. There's always something going on. Everybody's heavily involved with their youth auxiliary groups, giving out scholarships. I believe PV's daughter was a part of the AK's program.
Yeah, she was the president of the EYL, and she's also in the Precious Pearl program currently.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Now, PV, as far as you being, president of the chapter, and you being as passionate as you are, I would just like for you to give, a charge to not only the rest of the Divine Nine, but also just members that may be seeking to join the efforts to do things in the community and, make the charge for Iota.
I would just say that whether you're in a Greek fraternity or whether you're in any type of organization or just an individual, the black community is in a state of emergency if we don't know it or not. We have to give back to each other. We have to teach one. So I would say this: if you have a young man or a young lady in your community, they need help them. I mean, everything ain't all about what you can get out of it. Sometimes you can help some young person who is just on the cusp of maybe falling off, but you can help bring them back to reality, get them back in school, get them back interested, graduate from high school, and move on to bigger and better things. And believe me, they'll come back, because I remember when I was growing up, a man named Orlando Jackson used to keep a bunch of us kids off the street. And after 30 years in the military, I flew him down to my retirement center. I wanted to personally thank him.
Oh, wow.
So that was 30 years later, but I wanted him to know how much impact on my life he had and how much he was really appreciated. And we still need to do that today, that we need to see these kids. When we see them doing wrong, we got to say something. You can't just let them continue to do things wrong. I understand sometimes parents get upset with you, but we just have to take possession of our own, and just as a people as a whole, we have to just help each other out.
That's what's up. Very strong and powerful words, and we'll close on that. Thank you once again to the brothers of the Gamma Delta Omega chapter of Iota Phi Theta, Tampa, Florida.
Yes, ma'am.
And let's go bask in this sunshine.